Start with the national anthem. The camera died for a second, so we turned that on. Okay. I can hear it. Did you get hers? Hers was really good. All right, Coach Wolf, welcome back, man. Another night of streaming here. The season is winding down.
Introduce the first tonight, our Cheyenne Western cheerleader.
Some teams in the
It's all I think. Olivia Shaw. Sophia White. Bill Barber.
And this game is going to be, I think it's for but I think it's
Cheerleaders coached by Megan Richardson and Jake Rannick.
number 6 seed.
Now, let's meet tonight's starters. First, we're visiting Valley City Highlander. At guard, 5'8" sophomore, number 3, Samantha Hatcher. Also guard, 5'9" senior.
Welcome to Cheyenne High School, home of the Mustangs. This is Aaron Knodel. Joining me tonight is Coach Dan Wolf. We are here looking at the season finale for the girls program before the EDC tournament, Coach. And tonight we have the visitors on the scoreboard coming down I-94. Valley City coming in with a record of, let's see here. They had a 7-11 record. Cheyenne is 10-9. They're only a seed apart. So, Coach, you know, wrapping up the season here, tell us kind of what the approach is, you know, in terms of maintaining some seed here. Doesn't look like Cheyenne is probably going to be able to fall to Valley City. Valley City isn't going to be able to jump to Cheyenne. But certainly, strategically, there is an advantage to be playing hard and playing well in this basketball game. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I think absolutely. You want to go into any tournament feeling like you're playing some of your best basketball of the season. The Cheyenne girls coming off a victory last Friday night against Grand Forks Central at Grand Forks Central. And so certainly they want to feel like they have things under control, that they're prepped and ready for the EDC tournament as they'll wait to find out who it is that they'll host this coming Saturday. Fargo North and Grand Forks Central will be playing for the distinction of who's the 11 seed and who's the 10 seed. And I guess Valley City has a vested interest in that as well, because as the 7 seed, they'll be playing either Grand Forks Central or Fargo North, depending upon how that game turns out this week. So we're ready to go. I think Coach Hintz is just going to be looking for some good play out of his team. The Mustangs are starting with Peyton Breidenbach, Carson Sanders, Jaden Feist, Olivia Manson, and Maya Metcalf.
Yeah, so the first look down for the Mustangs got all the way down to Carson Sanders in the block. She threw it off the left hand and left side of the glass. It rattled around and not able to connect. And good save there, I think. That's going to go off Valley City right there. That one's Olivia Manson making the hustle play there for the Mustangs. So throwing it off the defender. Smart play there by Olivia, and it's going to go back to the Mustangs. Feist brings it up. Good job splitting off. Nice all the way back down. Couple extra passes. Carson Sanders with her second look right at point blank range. This time she connects. So coach looking good so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Cheyenne coming out here in a little man defense, trying to see if they can dictate the tempo to Valley City, as Breidenbach's going to push the ball up the floor, and Manson's going to try a three from the left wing, unable to be successful. Kick out to Maya Metcalf, and she knocks it down, and that's got to be a good side for Coach Hintz and the Mustangs here. Now Cheyenne's going to show a little pressure, see if they can force Cheyenne or Valley City into maybe a quick or a poor decision, and see if they can continue this hot start.
So the ball works around a little bit for Valley City, and then we have an assist from Jaden Dieterle. And Valley City gets on the board. Mustangs swinging around to Metcalf from the wing, and that's her second jumper from about 17 feet there. Both of them, I think, went right through without any iron. So Valley City looks for a pass into the high post, and Metcalf, I think, initially had a good jump on it. Came through the arms a little bit at the end and gets called for her first personal, first team foul. So 6-2 is the score, 16-19 to go in the first half for the Mustangs. It looks like they're going to start in a man-to-man defense here, as Valley City is looking at least initially on the perimeter to just kind of work that basketball around, a down screen there, and then the ball back into the corner. Working two posts on that side, a little bit of a spacing mishap there, but I think Valley City kind of corrects it. Pick and roll at the top of the key. That's Dieterle. And her shot goes off the iron, so now back with it we have Peyton Breidenbach. Stolen away from by Hatcher for the Highliners. So, Coach, dictating pace so far. It looks like at least from the Mustangs are coming out with some pretty good energy. But the Highliners look like they're playing pretty hard right away here too.
Yeah, I think they've matched the intensity and that pace that Cheyenne is trying to dictate here. Good feed, good dime by Carson Sanders, finding Jaden Feist as she drew the defenders to her, and Feist all alone in the middle of the lane.
Carson Sanders with a good start to the basketball game, got a bucket there and an assistant now, and so the Mustangs doing a little bit of everything with their three bigs. Metcalf with a couple of shots that she's able to knock down. Feist makes one, and Carson Sanders with one and an assist. So with that, we're going to have our first timeout of the basketball game. I couldn't really tell who took it. Was it the Highliners? So it was Valley City that took that one. So with that, 15:04 to go in the first half, we're going to take a break as well. That pass from Sanders sails out of bounds, so right back over to the Highliners. That's not exactly what you draw up coming out of the timeout there.
No, and you almost have to expect, Valley City was going to make some kind of adjustment to see if they could disrupt the flow that the Mustangs had developed early on. I think that's still one thing that we saw in doing the Red River and Cheyenne game the other night. That's still an area that I think is maybe a concern or something that they're trying to get better at, Cheyenne, and that's handling pressure from the opposing defenses. And I think that's something, as Breidenbach knocks down a three from the left wing, that's something that Coach Hintz, I'm sure, is still looking to try and get better at. As you get deeper into that EDC tournament, that Fargo Davies, Devils Lake, West Fargo, Grand Forks Red River, all of the top seeds in the EDC like to play that pressure D, and so you're going to have things very tight, very worked out if you're going to be successful against that.
Well, and you know, Coach, one of the things that just looking at the statistics for the year, the Mustangs have been pretty good at the three-point line. They've been good at the free throw line. Field goal percentage is high. So a lot of the things offensively that they like, you know, even look at the defensive side, who they have in the post. But it probably is just, you know, they knew they were going to have a young team, and so turnovers might be an issue. And so some of those things, especially when you get those kind of top-tier teams that like to put a lot of pressure on the basketball, that is the area where this young Cheyenne squad is probably going to look to improve, even coming into those first few games in the EDC tournament.
And the tough thing is you can talk about that pressure and how to deal with it, but when you have a young group of players like Cheyenne does, until you've been through the fire once or twice, it's a lot easier to talk about how to beat it than it is to go out and actually do it.
So another bucket there for Carson Sanders. She's having a good start to this basketball game, and with that, the Mustangs are up 11 with 13:30 to go in the first half. So good start here for the Mustangs, taking a good early lead. That shot, three-pointer, soft off the iron there for number 22, Dylan Deagle. And now the Highliners get it back and are able to connect. So into Brenna Dick. We talked about this, you know, Coach. Brenna Dick, the freshman on the floor for the Mustangs, she's actually done a pretty nice job handling the pressure on the guard side. But obviously, the pace of play is something that you always got to look for. You know, you can beat it with speed, but you got to learn to kind of control that speed after.
You really do, and I think sometimes she gets going just a little bit faster than what she's ready for. As Sanders is able to convert on the offensive end and is going to go for the and one opportunity here. See if she can extend this lead to 16-4 for the Mustangs as they lead the Highliners by 11 right now. Good pass by Fagerland on that one. We have Brooke Johnson entering the game, another of the sophomores for the Mustang program.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that's the other thing that probably Coach Hintz is looking at tonight too, is just figuring out what is his rotation going into this tournament situation. He's given a lot of girls a lot of minutes throughout the year. His rotations are probably maybe more numerous than some other coaches, and we'll see what they kind of land into going into the EDC tournament. There's Brenna Dick with a drive, and she looks for a dump pass to Jaden Feist. That's kicked out of bounds, I believe. So it's going to stay with the Mustangs on a baseline out of bounds play. Also in for the Mustangs, you said Brooke Johnson. I believe Fagerland is taking it out right now. Brenna Dick with a little runner from the left side, and her shot, although soft, rattles the iron twice and ends up going long. So again, the Mustangs still stay in their man-to-man. This is a left-handed drive here by Dieterle. They're going to call a foul on the drive. I think it was actually going to be a shooting foul, and it is. That is the first foul on Brenna Dick. Second team foul. Both teams with two team fouls now. 16-4 is the score, 11:49 to go in this first half. First shot rattles around the iron a little bit. And the second also hits iron, and Feist comes down with the rebound. Plays a little tippy-toe on the baseline and is able to secure the rebound. So now up ahead, the Mustangs swing pass over to Fagerland. She takes a look at three. And there's going to be a foul on the rebound, I think. A bump is going to be called. I think that's on Deagle. It is. Her second foul. She's a 5'10 junior forward. And so with her second foul, she's going to get replaced by number 15 for the Highliners, Govan. They have a Carly and a Greta on the team, an 8th grader and a sophomore, so I'm assuming they're sisters.
I'm going to guess so. And that, I think, maybe it was a little more than a bump because Not many times you're going to see Jaden Feist end up on the floor. She is she's a big, strong player, and for her to end up on the floor, I'm going to guess that was a little bit more than a push.
So 11:30 to go in the first half. Mustangs up 12. We're going to take a break.
I want to perform so I can teach my friends how to play the guitar.
I want to play this year so we can improve as a team and get some more of these.
I want to learn so I can expand my career opportunities.
I want to represent to enrich the world around me.
Just a quick update from Valley City.
Highliners up 16-13 early in the first half. We'll try and continue to get you some updates as that game continues on. As Fagerlund looks to put up a 3, good rebound by Feist, and she converts and gets to go to the line to add one more.
So Feist obviously having a heck of a season. The only senior on the team. We've talked about it many times today. She was actually named one of the students of the month for Cheyenne High School. So she was at the Exchange Club today being recognized. I said to her parents, I said, you know, it feels like Jaden's done so much this year. I feel like Mustang Media just kind of follows her around. So I was streaming that for her parents as well. I said, I'll see you guys later when we call the basketball game. So Mustangs having a really good start here, and I think especially for Carson Sanders, she's really played well.
Yeah, she has. They've been really sharp, really, in pretty much all facets. Maybe the only thing that they've struggled with is I don't know if they've knocked down a 3 yet, but they've hit the offensive glass really hard. They're moving the ball well. They're really making Valley City move defensively, as we see Johnson with a rebound and a kick to Feist, and it's an 18-point lead now. And
you did see kind of through that last possession, Valley City kind of dropped down in their zone, and the swing pass did generate that 3-point look by Brenna Dick. Like you said, Coach, they still haven't hit one, but as we see a dump down pass here, gets the 6 point for number 33. That's Brooke Egermont. So 6 points now for Valley City. 22-6 is the score. 10 minutes to play. Ball gets down low to Feist. Good defense there by the Highliners. It looked like Peterson was able to negate some of that momentum by just getting her body in the way, and Feist wasn't able to get up through that. Defensive rebound there for the Mustangs, Jaden Feist. She is the all-time leading rebounder in program history, so we'll see a few of those out of her, I'm sure. Now over to Brenna Dick on the wing. Valley City continues to look into some type of, it looks like a 3-2 zone possibly, Coach.
yeah, I think so. It almost
they're
looks like they're not quite sure at times what they have going on.
So the Mustangs with the baseline out of bounds. It gets into Maya Metcalf deep, and she's able to connect off the glass. So good find there and a good finish by Metcalf. Ball swings back around to number 32. She takes a look at 3, but her shot falls off the iron, and then I think it was Breidenbach that came down with the rebound. She finds Manson over in the corner.
That rebound was a coach's dream. Breidenbach had established the box out at the top of the key, and that ball just had to sail to her.
Good passing there by the Highliners. Ends up in the hands of Hatcher, and she's able to connect. Hatcher's a 5'8" sophomore. So looking at just the roster here, Coach, you know, the Highliners, yeah, they're a seed behind the Mustangs, but they too have a young team, and they have kind of a balance on all the grade levels, it looks like.
Yeah, they do. You know, when you're dressing an 8th grader in a school that's maybe a little bit smaller like Valley City, you might expect that. But they do have a couple of seniors and kind of a mixture of freshmen and sophomores and juniors throughout there. So where Cheyenne only has the 1 senior and a couple of juniors, maybe Valley City has a little bit more experience, maybe some players that have seen a little more varsity time to this point in their career.
Maya Metcalf having a good start. In fact, Coach, all three of the post players for the Mustangs playing pretty well here. 26-8 is the score, 8:30 to go. Highlanders bring it up. Little dribble handoff over to the right-hand side. Egermont looks over into the corner, finds number 14, Dieterle, for 3, but she can't connect. Breidenbach with the basketball now in the center of the court. She finds the high post, and that's going to be the part of the zone defense that's going to be weak. So good find, and it was a good look by Feist, but she wasn't able to connect.
You know, that's I'm interested in that because that's a pass we haven't really seen the Mustang offense make a lot in some of the previous games we've seen. And I guess what interests me is there something they see in the Valley City zone. Maybe they're not as athletic as some of the other teams they've played, or maybe this is something that maybe a wrinkle that Coach Hintz has put in as a way to try and be successful against the zone defense. You know, that one of the changes, at least since I played 100 years ago,
was peach baskets.
Well,
peach
it was. It was
okay.
peach. Dr. Naismith was my first coach, but you know, we had a situation where, you know, to my coach, zone was a 4-letter word, that's for sure, and
Yep.
it was a rarity to see zone, and it's amazing both on the boys and the girls side how many teams now are playing zone, and we've talked about how much bigger and stronger and faster some of the kids are as well. So I think you're able to do that as Breidenbach knocks down the wing 3 here.
And she's shooting well to start this basketball game as well. So, you know, again, the Mustangs have a little bit of that interior-exterior feel to their program here. And, you know, if they can kind of shore up that pressure, that they are going to be a force to be reckoned with here in the next few weeks. They've shown, at least in spurts, that they really can play with almost any team. It's just the speed that some of these other programs are offering and the pressure. That might be the separator right now for the Mustangs to see if they can get over that hurdle.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key, is how well you handle that pressure D. We know that Cheyenne can hang with most teams offensively. As you pointed out, they shoot it well from the three-point line. We've talked a lot about their big players, their post players here tonight, and how well they're playing. So I don't think the issue so much is, you know, offensively being able to keep up, as Manson, that little floater we've seen her shoot as of late.
Yeah, she's found that on the wings a couple times here, going baseline and running that floater. Brenna Dick ran it and threw it up there too. So that's a nice little look for the Mustangs off of that baseline penetration. Over to Metcalf now. Here's Breidenbach, and then we have a corner 3 look from Manson. Good job making the decision. She saw the closer and didn't like what she saw there. So ball attempted to get into the post to Metcalf. Maybe didn't quite have her defender sealed properly, and so the ball was kind of knocked out temporarily, and it ends up back in the hands of the Mustangs, fortunately. So Sanders with it now, and to Breidenbach. Brenna Dick to her left, kicks over to Manson. She'll take a look for 3, and she connects. So, and we talked right away. It was mostly coming from the interior. Now the last few minutes here, Coach, it's from the 3-point line. So inside, outside, that's what the Mustangs can do. That shot from the corner from number 15 hits back iron, rebound, number 33, Brooke Egermont. Ball ends up out of bounds off the Mustangs, so it's going to stay with Valley City. They'll have a baseline out of bounds here up to the top of the key. Look for a double screen there for Dieterle, but she wasn't able to free herself up, and now the turnover gets it all the way back to Breidenbach going the other direction.
Great
nice
recognition. Seen that seam, got downhill and went hard, and good use of the left hand by Breidenbach.
You know, that's a tough shot, too, coming off with as much speed as you have coming that direction, being able to throw it soft off the glass, not throwing it too hard and getting off the front iron. And Breidenbach did a nice job there. Highliners answer, so now it's 34-12 with 6 minutes to go. They're going to say Breidenbach took an extra step there. A couple of substitutions in for the Highliners. Back in is number 22, Deagle.
23, Haley Thorson in as well.
So the Highliners choose to gamble a little bit maybe with Deagle at 5:48, hoping she doesn't pick up that third personal foul. And that's going to be a travel call, I believe. Yep. That one's on Hatcher. She looked like she was rethinking her pass there after one of the Mustangs jumped into the passing lane. So Breidenbach within the backcourt here.
Now it looks like a little 1-3-1. No, a man. Look, I think Cheyenne expecting the zone had set up in their 1-3-1 offense and kind of gave the look that, or the appearance that Valley City was matching that 1-3-1, but just a man-to-man defense that time. Oh, nice little scoop shot.
That'd have been the shot of the night so
Yes.
far if that would have dropped. Over to Metcalf. She finds some space. Good soft touch there. Good rebound there by the Highliners. That one for Dieterle.
I have an update from the boys game. West Fargo Cheyenne up 40-32 at halftime against the Highliners in Valley City. As Brenna Dick goes hard to the rim, collects the foul. That must be about the third or fourth opportunity for Cheyenne to shoot an and one situation, and that's the also the seventh team foul for Valley City. So Cheyenne will be shooting the bonus the rest of the first half as well.
So just under 5 minutes to play here. Brenna Dick to the free throw line, and she connects the old-fashioned three-point play.
And talking about the rotation here, it does look like, and we saw this in the Red River game as well, you know, it might be a situation where Coach Hintz is willing to go that deeper bench, maybe 9 or 10 deep, just for the sake of keeping fresh legs on the floor. I think that's something he's been very aware of, as trying to keep those fresh legs out there and keeping that rotation going.
The other thing you always have to think about as a coach, it's the old dreaded possibility of you play in a game and you just want to have your kids sharp, and some kid goes down with a rolled ankle and you lose. And so that's always a caution. But, you know, it's tough. You're kind of pulled both directions. If one of your players gets hurt, everybody says, oh, that was a terrible decision. Why were you playing them in that situation? And, you know, the other side of it is you're still trying to build some confidence going into the tournament, as we see Brenna Dick with back-to-back steal runouts. And Hintz meets her at the half line. He's excited for her, and everybody, all of her teammates coming to give her a high five. Nice job there from Brenna Dick. 39-12, 4:16 to go. We're going to take a timeout. So after the timeout here, 39-12, 4:16 to go in this first half. Coach Hintz got to feel pretty good about the kind of the balance that his team's got. He's gotten a little bit of offense and defense from multiple players. Sanders having a really good first half. Brenna Dick having a first half. A couple of good three-point looks from Breidenbach. You know, a little bit of everything tonight.
I think if you're going into the EDC tournament, you know you have a play-in game, this is about as sharp as you can be. We've seen some good anticipation, some steals. They're playing good, hard defense and really making Valley City work on the defensive end. So Coach Hintz should definitely be pleased.
Dieterle looks for a back cut there, but her pass sails too hard, too fast, and out of bounds. So the Mustangs back with the basketball. They work the ball around the perimeter. Now they find Feist down low. Good look. Maybe not the greatest angle for Feist on that jumper, but ended up soft off the iron and just a little bit short. So back with it now is the Highliners. Ball was in the post momentarily for number 10, and now she gets it back again. That's Peterson. Good steal there. Again, Brenna Dick's playing a little free safety right now. You can see the smile on her face. She likes that she's jumping all these passes. Obviously, I think Coach Hintz has given her the leeway to get a little bit more aggressive going for those steals, and it's paying dividends right now. A couple of girls loose on the floor here. And out with the basketball for a second was Feist. And I think they're going to say 1 second back on the shot clock before the ball ended up out of bounds. So we'll see what kind of, you got a lot of shots. You got a lot of plays for the 1 second on the shot clock.
Well,
that was a
Valley
pretty good
City
one.
had one there, catch and shoot for
Well,
a
and they
three.
get the ball back, so hey. And they end up with an end one opportunity. Good look out of the out-of-bounds play, just having a stack play release up top. Nobody was there for the Mustangs. They get the open look for 3, offensive rebound, put back in the foul. So now 39-14, 5 team fouls on the Mustangs. That one came on number 12, Fagerland. Dieterle's free throw ends up long. Brenna Dick takes a look at 3. She runs that floater to that side, and she connects. They must be running that in practice, Coach. We've seen
They
that
must
one a
be
few
working
times.
on that a lot.
Mustangs do cut off the drive, but in the process, no rotation back down for the defensive rebound, and so the Mustangs give up a kind of an easy one to number 10, Peterson. She's able to connect for 2 at point-blank range. Mustangs move it over.
That's frustrating for a coach to see the hard work, the girls that rotated back and tried to contest the shot, but then lacking the rest of the rotation to have a real chance at the rebound as Sanders comes out. Good passing, good hustle back there by number 32 for the Highliners, Tessa Olsen, to break that up. What looked like could have been an easy opportunity for Fagerland and a layup. Olsen gets back, knocks the ball out of bounds, and Cheyenne will have it out of bounds on a baseline here.
Ball ends up to Brenna Dick from the wing, or from the baseline there. Her shot sails long. Highliners up ahead. It's a couple times that the Highliners got through the Mustang defense. Good box out there by Carson Sanders, but she couldn't grab the basketball, and it gets out of bounds. Great box out, though, by Sanders.
It was. You know, it went out of bounds, but I don't think Coach Ince is going to be upset with that. If you can get box outs like that for the rest of the season from Carson Sanders, I think you're going to take that. That one happened to go out of bounds, and Valley City converts for 2. But, boy, if you can get those types of box outs for them, your players, that's a really good sign.
I like that move from Carson Sanders, too. Like I said, she's having a good first half there. She attacks the defense in the spin move process. You know, the defense was out of position. All they could do was just put the hand out, and she throws her hands through the defender and gets to the free throw line here. So Sanders makes her first, and back into the basketball game is going to be Maya Metcalf replacing Feist. So 1:43 to go. Mustangs 42, Highliners 18. Pretty clean first half for the Mustangs, too. Only 5 team fouls. Probably not even going to put Valley City in the bonus here, or if they do, it's only going to be 1 or 2 opportunities at most for Valley City, as we see a steal there by Brooke Johnson. And the ball comes away for Carson Sanders. She fights for it and pushes it out to Breidenbach. Good hustle there out of the Mustangs. Looks like we have a foul on the entry pass.
It's going to be on Brooke Egermont there, as Maya Metcalf had established position, and Egermont just didn't have a good angle to try and reach in and poke that one out, as Metcalf's going to go to the line to shoot the 1-and-1 and converts. And Coach, I can't think of more than maybe 1 free throw, if that Cheyenne may have missed this half. So when you're shooting the ball well, you're converting down low, you're shooting the free throws well, that's a pretty complete game. And I guess it shows in the lead that Cheyenne has established here at 27 points with just over a minute left to go.
That shot ends up not touching any iron, and so the Mustangs come back with it. Breidenbach, good find there to Metcalf. We've said this a lot, Coach. You know, Metcalf, you look at her and you think she's probably going to be a powerful shooter, but she's really soft with that basketball.
Very soft touch.
Breidenbach jumps with the wrong hand that time, and Coach Hintz might talk to her about that one. I think if she goes, that was maybe Brenna Dick.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's kind of similar to what we've talked about before. You know, it's recognizing the difference between an open shot and a good shot. And, you know, there's times that you can definitely go after a steal, but then there's times that you're going to be smarter to, you know, just let that pass take place as Metcalf gets on the floor and ties it up, and there's going to be a jump ball going to Cheyenne.
Yeah, I think on the foul on Brenna Dick, if she comes with her right hand instead of her left, she's not going to contort her body into the defender and have a chance on, you know, sometimes those players, they want to get that ball with the wrong hand just so they can start immediately pushing up ahead for the layup. But if you do just put your hand in the passing lane and knock it to the floor, typically you can get the steal without incurring the foul. So 26.9 seconds to go in the first half, and here's the first bonus opportunity for the Highliners. It's going to get number 33, Egermont, to the free throw line with 26 seconds to play. Pretty decent job here for the Mustangs, not getting themselves in any foul trouble.
And I think it's worth pointing out as Egermont makes the first, you know, like that pass that Brenna Dick tried to steal there, you know, just little things like that, knowing which hand to be using can make such a big difference in this game. In the game of basketball, just those small things really make such a difference in getting a steal or not getting a steal, or getting a good look at a shot or not getting a good look at a shot. And, you know, we know she's just a freshman, but this applies to anyone. Just small things like that. It seems like the really good players do those things consistently and do them really well.
Good drive there by Breidenbach. She did a really good job, I think, of kind of pulling the brakes, pushing stop there and finding the space that she wanted, and in the process the closeout got on her hands, and so she gets to the free throw line. The Mustangs halfway to a century here almost, with 49 points in the first half. 15 seconds left. The Highliners are going to take the last one, but what a spectacular first half 30-point advantage going into the halftime locker room is definitely something that Coach Hintz got to feel good about for his girls. Good swing pass, gets an open look for three, but that one goes off back iron. So with the last second, the Mustangs are going to go in with a 30-point advantage, Coach. Looking pretty sharp here in the first half.
They really are. Coach Hintz out to meet his players near half court to give them 5. Got to be very pleased with how the first half has played out here. And I'm sure hoping to continue the sharp play, the good pressure on D, the smart play, and the good possessions on offense.
So with that, we're going to take a halftime break, and we'll come back after that. We'll give you some stat recap. We'll let you know how the boys' game is going, and we'll remind you of some of our sponsors. So join us in about 9.5 minutes.
What I love working about Marvin is I'm always given an opportunity to learn new things. There's never really a dull moment.
When my buddies from out of town ask me where I work, I love to share it. There's always opportunities. You can always move up.
Come in here willing to learn, and if you're willing to do that, you can go anywhere.
The people here is what makes the workplace enjoyable. It's a great place to work.
They have a great benefit package, and as I've been here even for a few years, I've seen that package being adjusted and tailored to try to meet our needs better.
Your experience coming in, our experience that we have here, makes a great combination that we invite.
That generation that helped build this company to what it is today is now getting to retirement age, and we're now to that point in the company where a newer generation of workforce is stepping up to the plate. We're finding our own adventure. I think that's exciting. It is an exciting time to be a part of Marvin.
watching Cheyenne Mustang Media.
So welcome back to the second half here. Mustangs up 30 in the first half. Obviously a great first half for the Mustangs. Coach, can you give us kind of a breakdown of the scoring? I think we had a lot of people in the books, and they contributed a lot of different ways.
A lot of people contributing in the first half. Peyton Breidenbach contributes 10 points in the first half. Maya Metcalf, 12. Jaden Feist, 6. Carson Sanders, 11. 7 for Brenna Dick. And Olivia Manson with 3. And the Mustangs were 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of 11 in the first half from the line.
That's that's one way to get points, right?
That is the easy way to get points. When you go to the line, clock's not moving, and you just keep adding to it, as Detterly is going to try and do that for Valley City right now, down 30.
So the Mustangs able to put 6 people in the scorebook in the first half. That's obviously a good sign. You know, the games that I think we've seen them coach where they struggled, it was really kind of two players maybe, or maybe even one with just a small sprinkling from somebody else. So the balance is obviously something that bodes well for the Mustangs going into the tournament.
Yeah, anytime for your team to be successful, you can get away with a game or two where maybe some people have some off games, you're not able to score consistently. But really, if you're going to have a chance, you've got to end up having some balance in the scorebook and have multiple people contribute. And so Carson Sanders right where she needed to be, cleans up that offensive rebound and put back.
Conversely for the Highliners, Dieterle was 6, and it was Egermont who had 8, and then again, without those 2, then we had Olson with 2, Govan with 1, and Hatcher with 2. So obviously defensively for the Mustangs did a pretty good job, as we now see Egermont at the free throw line. She continues her good night offensively.
And that's the 3rd foul on Maya Metcalf, so doesn't look like Coach Hintz is ready to pull her at this point, but when you're up 27, I guess maybe not super concerned in that regard, but we'll see if that makes a difference, as that's a good save.
Heck of a play.
From going out of bounds.
That's number 10, Peterson.
As Peyton Peterson saves that one, and Valley City's going to come down.
Good look there for Egermont,
and
Egermont. She's able to connect, so a good half to start for her. Breidenbach gets through, and careful there not to get wolfed, as we see Olivia Manson take a 3-pointer, and Metcalf gets the offensive rebound, but
rejected by the bottom of the rim there. And Egermont's only a sophomore for the Highliners, so certainly Coach Howard has to feel positive about that, big, strong player, post player that knows how to score. You know, I always remember back a long time ago, the first time the coach I played for in high school, when I was in 8th grade, he and the assistant coach had come to watch some of the 8th grade games, and I'll never forget that they said, you know what, we're looking to see for people that can score. They said, we can teach you how to play defense, but it's a lot harder to teach you how to score. So, you know, when you have a player that has a knack for being around the ball or getting to the rim and those types of things, that's a luxury for coaches, I think.
Absolutely. Good little trap from the Highliners initially there, but Breidenbach breaks it over to Sanders, and she's trapped. Mustangs make a couple of substitutions. Looks like Breidenbach and Manson come out, and Fagerland and Brenna Dick come in.
I think we have Caitlin Haas on the floor as well. Or no, that's Fagerland, I'm sorry. So again, keeping those fresh legs, especially it seems like with the guard play, as Brenna Dick, about the 6th of those floaters that she's put up, and she's been close with all of them, only made a couple. It is a good way to get your shot off without letting that defense establish itself or contest that shot, as Egermont follows up again.
you know, I've always coached guards to let them know, hey, you try to, sometimes you want to drive into the shoulder of the defender, and then there are sometimes you want to shoot when you have the space. So you don't always have to go right into the shot blocker. Sometimes best way you can do that is show them a couple of floaters, get them on their toes coming at you, and then the next time you come into their shoulder, draw the foul or get through them.
Absolutely.
54-28 now, 14 and a half to go in this second half.
Good three by Fagerland. And
on this side here was Deagle that took the pole, and her shot falls short for the Highliners.
Looks like Peyton Peterson was on the line as she went for that rebound, trying to get the ball back in. So Valley City going to show a little 1-2-2 look here. See if they can put some pressure on Cheyenne. They break it without any issues.
We do want to remind you of our game sponsor, Bell Bank Mortgage. When you choose Bell Bank Mortgage, you'll partner with people that are part of the fabric of the communities we serve. You know, it's wrapping it up, Coach. It's kind of hard. We've had a lot of fun this year calling these basketball games, getting out and watching some really good players, and getting to see you know, our student body do some things that you know, in the classroom you see them in different personalities when you see them out on the court, and it's just been a lot of fun, hasn't it?
It really has. You know, it started with a text message during the Christmas break saying, "Hey, what do you want? What are you doing? Do you want to come call a girls basketball game with me?" To having done as many games, and it really is. You know, whether it's the girls or boys. I mean, obviously, we always tend to equate success with record and wins and those sorts of things, but really, you know, we've seen these kids working really hard, being good teammates, you know, really buying into the culture that both Coach Hintz and Coach Kirchhoffner have established for their programs. And, you know, whether a team makes it to the state tournament or is a state champion or, you know, whatever the record is. And really from the opponents that we've seen these teams play, you know, it's great to see. I think this year maybe more than any other, when you have you know, the pandemic around us, it maybe was more important this year than any other for kids to be active and maybe feel normal and get out and you know, play a game that they obviously have a passion for. And so it really has been great to see, you know, and they're high school kids, and they're just going out and working hard and doing the best they can. And, you know, you and I coach together the girls and boys golf programs at Cheyenne, but we talk a lot about, you know, all we ask that kids go out and give their best effort. That's all anyone can ask of any athlete, and, you know, everything else will sort itself out, and the sun will still rise tomorrow. So it's been really enjoyable to do these games with you and just be a part of the Cheyenne Mustangs and to be around these kids and these programs.
I ditto every word that you just said there. It's been a blast, and we especially appreciate all the grandparents and you know, viewers that haven't been able to attend our basketball games or any of our events because you know, obviously the times just are different, and it's been tough, you know. And so if this is your experience that you got to have with your granddaughters or your grandsons, or maybe even just you know, you had some work commitments or something else that you weren't able to see, we just appreciate that you've tuned in with us, and that you've and we especially appreciate our sponsors to help make this happen. Tonight we have a couple of extra volunteers too from the National Honor Society. We have Rebecca Kapoor here. She's one of Cheyenne's best. Thank you, Rebecca, for running the camera for us tonight. She gives us a little head nod. She's not even going to turn around. She's so focused on what she's giving us on the camera side. So thank you, Rebecca. You know, Jacob Fisher, I don't know how many games he's done for us, and even
we know he's a regular when you know, he gives us just as hard of a time as we give him. So we know that he has become a regular part of the broadcast, that's for sure. You know, and I think my sincere hope is, you know, not because we've done it or any expectation moving forward, but I hope even, you know, we all hope that this pandemic goes away sometime soon. But I really hope that West Fargo Public Schools continues to invest, you know, the time and the money into making this happen, and that you're able to stay with us, Aaron, because it really is something that I feel like we should have been doing and hope we continue to do, because you're right. Even after the pandemic, there will be grandparents who maybe aren't able to be at games, or parents whose work schedules don't allow for it. Or maybe there's just fans that, want to take in a good basketball game when they know two good teams are playing one another.
Oh, Brenna Dick has just found a way to steal the basketball tonight on that. And I do want to say, nice job there, Brenna. I do want to also compliment Greg Limke. This is his first year as an AD, and he came into what was, nobody could question just the horrendous situation an AD would have to come into with quarantine teams, and what happened to the soccer team, and helping everybody to try to get this thing going, and so that people can start playing sports again, and all the ADs, quite frankly, all the work they've done. But Greg Limke in particular has just said, I really want to get this streaming thing going for us, and I want to make sure that our community support is grounded in this idea that it's more than just just putting a camera up there. We want to make this special for our kids. So kudos to Greg as well.
And it's kind of my contribution is I come and talk when I feel like it, and kind of try and hopefully add to the game a little bit. Are we going to stay for this one, or do you want to take a break?
Talking. Yeah, we're good.
But being a part of this has been really fun. But the times you've contacted me, texted me, and said, geez, there was 1,000 views, or we had 800 people watching a broadcast live. To me, really was really cool to see, and hopefully you and I sounded like we kind of had a sense of what we were supposed to be talking about as the games have gone on. We've had a lot of people connected to the school, and fans and parents and stuff who've said really a lot of nice things to us about what we've done, and that's been great. We appreciate it. We've just been trying to do this, and it's been, as you said, a blast. And so hopefully we'll have more opportunities again to do this in the future, as we are at the final game of the year here.
Well, yeah, even just looking back at this, and obviously we're watching a girls' basketball game. We'll get back to that in a second, but, as we're wrapping up this season, we do want to just kind of let you guys know as viewers how far we've come. We started this really with, I think
Devils Lake and Cheyenne girls just after Christmas.
We've done some 60 events, I think, at Mustang Media, plays. Tonight I was, I told you I was at the Exchange Club streaming. We also did some streaming with the weightlifting competition after school in the weight room.
You've done a wrestling.
We've done wrestling a few times. We've done theater performances. We got some orchestra, choir, and band coming up. So we're doing a little bit of everything. Just some stats. It's just kind of appalling, not appalling, but amazing to me what we've done in the last 90 days as a group here. We've had 60,000 views on our channel, which is pretty tremendous. We average over 1,000 views a day on our channel. We have accumulated almost 400,000 minutes of viewing time. I'm not even sure if that number makes sense to me. It's your yearly salary, so you can put it in perspective. I can't.
Absolutely.
We've gained almost 1,000 subscribers, and so it just is. I really appreciate everything that the school's done to get this thing going. So. And
if you're a Mustang supporter, you have a grandson or a son or a daughter or a granddaughter or whatever it might be. As you pointed out, there's a little something for everyone. This isn't. Just sports. It's not just football. It's not just hockey. It's not just basketball. You guys have really tried to do a little bit of everything, and so that's great. If you're just a supporter of kids and want to appreciate all of the hard work they're putting in, whether it's in athletics or fine arts, what a great way.
And we do appreciate the help the boosters gave us. They bought us the Sling Studio equipment that we use to stream these basketball games. I know some people just think you hit play on a YouTube and off you go, but it's not that simple. You got to have some software, you got to have some hardware, and so they purchased some of that early for us and got us moving. And the district chipped in, and Marvin Windows and Bell Bank Mortgage and Elite Steering, and we've really we really and just individual contributions from parents. We're just very fortunate here in Cheyenne to have that kind of support. So thank you guys all.
Yeah, thank you everyone for that. By the way, I heard there is a basketball game going on here in the Cheyenne gym tonight.
We're under 10 minutes to play here. Mustangs continue to bring it 66-33. They've actually doubled up the score here for Devils Lake. And as we see, I think Haas gets a corner three there. I do want to mention, too, I said I was up in the weightlifting competition. KJ Franklin qualified for Junior Nationals. So if you didn't catch that broadcast, even if you just want to fast forward through it, watching those kids in that weight room, that was a sight to behold. It was amazing. We had all sorts of state records today in our competition. It was a sight to behold. Kids from boys, girls, JV, varsity, they were all in there cheering each other on, getting each other pumped up for that competition. So if you haven't had a chance to watch that, take a look.
Well, and that's one of the other things, that amazes me, the number of opportunities for kids, whether it's, again, through athletics, the number of sports that have been added to, what schools do, things like weightlifting, and whether you talk about like trap shooting and that sort of club, and you have the fine arts, and you have all of those things going on. That's just amazing to me, all the opportunities that kids have now, and hopefully we have as many kids as possible taking advantage of ways to be involved in their school and their community and those sorts of things. And again, we hope that we're able to continue to bring you these events.
So the Highliners at the free throw line here, down 33-69 with 8:39 to go in the second half. We'll try to get you an update about the boys game. Looks like we do have one. 66-54 Mustangs up with 2:41 to go in that game. Obviously the Mustangs sitting at the #1 seed in both the EDC and ranked #1 in the state tournament, but the margin of victory has closed a little bit, and we expect to see that this time of year. You're going to have that second run at an opponent, and they're going to be able to find some of those answers, but the Mustangs continue to find every answer with any type of adversity. And as we see a great shot there from Fagerlund, she continues to find the three-point line all year, man. It's these three-point shooters for these Mustang girls. They can hit it out there, man.
They don't need much opening either.
Good help there over by Fagerlund, and Highliners aren't able to get the skip pass connected for a bucket. Brooke Johnson out ahead, and that ball goes out of bounds. So you got to say, I think we're going to get a timeout here. We'll take a break here, but when we come back, I want to talk about the work that Coach Hintz and Coach Domain and all the coaches have done with this program and where it's headed. So we'll take a break here. We'll talk about that when we get back.
You're watching Cheyenne Mustang Media.
So Valley City with the basketball here, Coach. I just want to say, Hintz is a special kind of coach. It's not all about basketball. He cares a lot about culture. He cares certainly about his players and wants to make sure that they have the best opportunity available. And his you see it on the poster over there, Ubuntu. Just this idea, this culture of having them care about each other and that they're going to lift each other up. It's been really a delight to see.
It has, and I don't think you have to look any further than senior night and, how much the rest of the team cares about Jaden Feist, and certainly they enjoy her as a teammate. But I think, as you said, the culture that Coach Hintz promotes around the girls' basketball program is, they're all individuals and they're people first, and they have lots of things going on in their lives. And yes, they want to be successful as a basketball team and work hard and work well together, but it's a pretty small part of the picture. And you know, we know that the number of kids that are going to play a sport collegiately is pretty small, but we also know that there are so many life lessons and things you learn about yourself being an athlete or being a performer of some kind. You know, what you're willing to do to what you ask of yourself and how you push yourself and those sorts of things. And, you know, I think that's probably the emphasis that Coach Hintz, Coach Domain really place an emphasis on with this program. Yeah, they want to be successful as a basketball team, but they want to build.
And they know they're building too. I mean, obviously, you want success now, but they know they got a ton of sophomores on the roster, only 2 juniors, 1 senior. They know they're building, and they know they're building long term. And one of the best ways you can do that is to build culture where everybody is working to help each other out. And even just that last shot, the Mustangs score their 74th point, have a giant lead here in this basketball game. There's probably no. Barring some miracle, this game has already been decided, and you have girls up on the bench jumping up and down when the bucket goes through. So, I mean, that's just fun to see.
It really is, and you know, it's not just talk, you know, or a goal that Coach Hintz has. I mean, he really puts everything he does into building this culture and getting his girls to buy into it. So, you know, it is certainly. It shows in the way that they approach things, the way they care about each other, the way they support each other. And, you know, regardless of how this season ultimately plays out for Cheyenne, again, I don't think you want to say that this is, you know, you don't want to measure success based solely on wins and losses and those types of things. It's the type of people you produce.
Great feed there and fine for number 10. Highlanders had a good push there that gets a transition bucket for Peterson. So. On the other end now, it's Brenna Dick going to her left. She's going to shoot a left-handed floater. I did tease her the other day about how she had me all fooled that I thought she was left-handed. She pushes to her left so often and shoots with her left so often. As you can hear Hintz saying, good look on that one. A couple of extra passes. You get something at point-blank range. Even if they don't fall, you got to feel good about that. So. 5:38 to go here in the second half. Mustangs up 74-37 on Mustangs with 9 team fouls. That's probably the one thing that they haven't done well this second half here. Probably didn't need to get that aggressive with that big of a lead, but you know, I think Coach Hintz is still having them play hard defense, and again, this is all about preparation for that tournament. Good tip out.
You know, so we know that Cheyenne's going to play either Fargo North or Grand Forks Central in a play-in game on Saturday, and obviously those are 2 teams that we know are kind of in maybe a rebuilding sort of situation or young and those sorts of things. And Cheyenne was able to defeat both of those teams both times they played in the season series. So being 4-0 against those teams, you got to figure Cheyenne would certainly be favored, especially at home on Saturday. But you know, I think then Coach Hintz also has his mind on, you know, that next round, and the way it's setting up right now, it might look like another rematch with Grand Forks Red River. We know that Cheyenne played them very tough at Grand Forks Red River early in the year and lost only by, I think, 4 points and came up, you know, short last week. So, you know, I think there's going to be a lot of thought on that part. In terms of how do you put a game plan together. You know that Red River is going to pressure you. They play that zone, but they play those front players, those top 2 are going to meet you at the volleyball line and really extend that zone and make you have to work for your shots. So, you know, I think, you know, not to get ahead of ourselves, Cheyenne still has to win this game on Saturday, but, you know, I think probably Coach Hintz has an idea of how he wants to, you know, play against Grand Forks Red River, and I guess we'll find out next week how that might turn out if Cheyenne's able to win their play-in game on Saturday, as we have Elena Holder in the game now, as some more and more players are getting some playing time off the varsity bench here.
Nice little move and another floater again. Great rebound there by Metcalf. She's able to put it back in, but you know, if you can, again, just like we said, you create that penetration, you get the defenders to come up. They both close, and because they had to close on Manson's drive, all alone underneath is Metcalf to grab that rebound and put it back in from 2 feet.
you know, and that was set up, that drive, by a little pump fake, and obviously teams know that Olivia knows how to shoot the ball. So, you know, I'm sure they're told.
And there she is.
There she knocks down a three from the left wing. You know, you don't want to let her have an open look. So as that defender is trying to close out on you, that little pump fake gets her by and gets her into the clear.
Wow.
There's a good finish by number 14, Dieterle.
Yeah, that was a great finish there. Kind of ended up off the bump. She was kind of flying away from the hoop and still able to get that one to go through. A couple of substitutions in for the Mustangs now. Number 2 is Caitlin Haas. We have number 20, I think that's Tara Hark.
And number 4, Jane Hecox.
Oh, and Hecox came in too. There we go. That rounds out your substitutions for the Mustangs. Dieterle at the free throw line here. She connects, makes her 3. So the Mustangs boys side, they do end up victorious and end up winning pretty handily out there in Valley City. Final score?
76-56. So Cheyenne completes nearly a perfect season. Just that opening game loss to the West Fargo Packers. They're going to end the season as the number 1 seed for the EDC, the number 1 seed in the state tournament poll, or the state polls for Class A. And because of that number 1 seed, they will not have to play a play-in game, so they should be hosting next week and awaiting the winner of a play-in game. And as we pointed out, you know, the one thing that is really unique about the EDC tournament this year, because only the final day, the championship games and the final play-in games are going to be played at the Shack at NDSU. Teams are going to have that opportunity to host a state qualifying game in the semifinals of the EDC tournament. So certainly for the boys, that's going to be a pretty big advantage to host a team that you've beaten twice during the course of the year. And for the girls, you know, depending upon how things shake out, they may have to go on the road for that. But again, if it is to Red River, I would think Coach Hintz has got to feel pretty good that, you know, there's no substitute for confidence. You can't fake your way through that. Either you have it or you don't. And I would think the Mustang girls they know how to play with Red River, and as they took them to the wire earlier in the season. So I would think that would be a less daunting task if that's how it turns out for Cheyenne next week.
And certainly with those crossover games after the first round too, you never quite know how that's going to play out. Who you're going to play to get into the state tournament.
Yeah.
If you're able to be fortunate enough to be in a play-in game, and so a lot can still be happening. Those regional tournaments in the Class A level certainly are interesting.
Well, I think of, you know, it might be 3-4 years ago now, but the oddity of, I think it was Shanley was the number 1 seed for the girls, and Fargo Davies was the number 1 seed for the boys going into the EDC tournament that year, and neither team made it to the state tournament.
Right.
So you just really never know. As they say, anything can happen at tournament time.
Good steal there. Dump pass ends up out of bounds. Mustangs doing a really good job of jumping those passes. That one was Hecox able to get in front of that one. Hold her down low. Good little pivot move on the spin. Her shot prowls around, doesn't land. 83-46. Now we're under 2 minutes to play. 1:38 to go is what we got. Tell the Mustangs are going to be content with working the ball around the perimeter here. You can see a couple extra passes and then maybe a pick and maybe a little bit of a good post move there by Holder. And that ball's knocked out by Highliners, and so it's going to stay here. Ball into the corner, up top. Haas with it now. Terhark
Little dribble weave going on. After that out of bounds play, Cheyenne ended up with a fresh 30 on the shot clock.
So now we're at a minute to play. Yeah, they might have turned over the basketball, but you did work a minute off the clock there in that sequence. So ball knocked away there by the Mustangs, and they're going to say over and back. Didn't get both of her feet down. So the only thing, Coach, that you have to ask for Mustang Media is how am I going to make sure that we can stream a golf tournament?
That's a great question.
If I figure that out, I don't know. I think that one might be out of the question. Maybe I'll put Jacob on it. He'll figure it out for me.
We may have to strap.
He's the brains of this operation.
We may have to strap GoPros to the foreheads of every player and give that inside look.
Speaking of, I did see that there was a serious car accident from Tiger Woods today.
There was.
I haven't gotten all the result or information yet, but it sounds a little frightening. So
sounded non-life-threatening, at least one of the reports I read, but it also could mean some broken legs. So not exactly sure all of the details of how his vehicle ended up going off the highway and rolling down an embankment, but certainly hope that he is okay and everything. That this doesn't bring about any serious long-term complications or have an impact on, what he wants to do in the future in terms of professional golf, as the Mustangs are going to wrap this up.
There it is, 83-46. Mustangs powerful here in this matchup between teams that were only one seed apart, but a couple of different games, and so it looks like the seeds hold. Mustangs hold serve, obviously, on their home court here, and just one more step in that preparation for Coach Hintz and his squad going into the EDC tournament. And, what's this halftime or what's this locker room speech going to consist of, you think?
Well, I think you should feel like, very positive about how they played tonight. A lot of girls giving a lot of contributions, as we mentioned, and really should kind of feel like I think you're on the upswing as the play-in game comes up. I would think the next couple practices should be just some maintenance and kind of preparing, waiting to find out who that opponent's going to be on Saturday, and really just, asking the girls to bring that intensity. I think that maybe tonight was as good as we've seen Cheyenne start a game thus far this year in the games that we've done. Their bigs played well. They shot it well. They kind of ran the show at the beginning, and let's be honest, this game was out of hand pretty quickly. They were up by.
They really played right out of the chute. They took control. So
and that can be such a difference maker if you can start a game that way and feel confident going in. So really, I think enjoy the regular season. Close that door. Now it's tournament time, and anything can happen. So be prepared. Punch the clock and go to work and take care of business.
Sounds good to me. So just last reminder, our game sponsor here is Bell Bank Mortgage. At Bell, people come first. No matter where you are, you'll see the Bell difference in your mortgage experience with us. So thank you to Bell Bank Mortgage. So final thoughts here, Coach Wolf. Hey, once again, man, thanks for everything. I appreciate all your time and effort that you put into Mustang Media. Thank all these kids. They've done such an awesome job to help us out. And now it's just on to the next thing for us, and hope you guys will join us for that as well. So
absolutely, and thanking me for my hard work, that really, I don't know about that, but really I think the viewers, the people who tune in, and even if you're watching the stream after the fact, need to know how hard Aaron Knodel has worked in order to make all of this happen. There's been a lot of nights up here that we're not quite sure. We're having some technical difficulties and things like that, and he's been able to overcome them every time. And really all of the workers, all the hard work from those involved with Mustang Media, the National Honor Society, any of the kids that have come and helped, they put in a lot of time and a lot of hours with this, and I've never heard anyone complain or say they didn't enjoy it and those sorts of things. So really, thanks to all of you who have worked so hard. I just show up and kind of talk and try not to take away from the broadcast. So, and again, thanks to all the people who bothered to tune in, and we hope you found value and enjoyed what we had to say, and hopefully we added to the enjoyment of the game for you. So until next time, whenever that might be, I'm Dan Wolf.
And I'm Aaron Knodel. Signing off. Appreciate your time.